Hey there, sausages and baguettes. It is Joey, your Tuesday host for Witches of the Moon. And this week's subject is the importance of journaling or book o' shadowing. So this is my Morrigan Book of Shadow. And there's nothing in it. Well, there are a couple of things written in it, but, you know. Yeah, no. So, yeah, I'm just having a look. This is my other Book of Shadows, which is all loose at the minute. It's adjusting. This is the one I've had since 2003? Something like that. Right. Just trying to see if there's any pages that are like completely... Well, you've seen all my Ogham drawings if you're interested in that sort of thing on my channel. They're popped in here. Oh, that's not a bad one. I can't remember where I got that from. Might have been on Facebook. So this is a book blessing. Hearken as the witch's word calls the lady and the lord, moon above and earth below, skies cool blue and sun's hot glow. In this right and ready hour fill these pages with thy wisdom. May those in need have eyes to see the secrets which entrusted be, to those who walk the hidden road to find the hearthstone's calm abode. Guardians from the four directions, hear us and lend thy protection. May these truths of earth and sky shielded be from darker times, but to the witches whose map this be, may the way be plain to see, and through all the coming ages may we find home in these pages. That's nice, right? Right, so the importance of journaling or not. So I was sat here thinking, what can I do to shake this up a bit, because we don't want journaling 101. So I think what we'll do is we'll flip it. Why should you not journal? Well, do you need to? Do you have to? I think this is going to be a personal preference type question again, but there are those who believe, and those who follow the Celtic path will be more familiar with this idea, that writing down something takes away its power. Journaling certain words strips them of their energy, their power. I've never completely been on par with that, because for the most part I think, you know, I love the written word, so it doesn't sit that well with me, but I understand that line of reasoning. And there are things that I do without ever writing them down. So the main example for that would be ritual, particularly of sabbats or S2W2 sometimes. I have odd things I write down to make sure I remember to do them every time. That's more S2W2 than sabbats, of course. And sometimes I just go with how I feel. I know now how to cast a circle. I know now what words I want to say. I know which corner corresponds and which things correspond and how I want to address each corner. So I just say how I feel in my heart, and that's not coming from a page, you know. There's nothing wrong when you're new and you're beginning and you're reading it out of your own journal, your own book or whatever. But I'm going to offer you a dual perspective on how you can look at a certain experience. Some people are going to say, well, you know, you're going to forget that ritual experience and every little thing that happened if you don't write it down. You're kind of doing it wrong then if you're going to forget everything, but it should move you, it should move your emotions, your heart, your spirit. You should feel something, and if something incredible happens, you're not going to forget that. I mean, if you want to journal it down because you want to pay it note, then that's something else. But as for journaling to stop you forgetting things, well, I don't know. Do you need to cling on to every piece of advice you've ever given yourself, received from the universe, or whatever? Do you need to write down every oracle reading, tarot reading, rune reading, ogham reading that you've ever done? Or is that information useful to have? I'm not saying these are my beliefs, by the way, I'm just offering a flip perspective just for the sake of it. Do you need those things, or can you take those cards, can you digest them for what they're worth, can you apply them to when they matter and then move on? Does that then become a piece of paper just to be recycled, kind of a waste piece of paper environment wise? I don't know. I'm just offering a flip side. It's not necessarily what I feel about it. I personally don't write down a lot of my rituals because I feel that they are spoken offerings to the divine that I give to my goddess. I say how I feel. If I'm moved, if something's really important and there's some messages from the other side, those I will write down, because you know you've had your attention drawn to them. But when you are giving something in a verbal display of devotion, I don't think you need to journal every single thing down. It's entirely up to you. Now this of course comes into subcategories, because there's going to be tons of different ways of looking at this. You know, dream journals and recipe journals, I'll go into that in a minute. And then like actual book of shadows. And we all really love having our really spiffy book of shadows. This is really special. This was bought for me for Christmas. The other one is really special, and I've opened it up to show you that book blessing, so I'm going to have to sit and play with it. It needs tying back up, honestly. But I've never really written an awful lot in my book of shadows, like properly, because I want them to look so nice, and you end up not writing and journaling everything down because you know you have a whole practical magic book of shadows in your head, and it just doesn't look like that at all. And you're like, well, mine doesn't. I'm not that good at scrapbooking. I think scrapbooking is going to have to go in my 2014 list of things to learn how to do. Scrapbooking. Right, so this is what actual journaling looks like. Like studying, which is pretty much what it is. And I think with the realm of studying, journaling is really good, personally. So with the runes group, and then I'm carrying on with the oghams because I think it's important. I started journaling in these sorts of little notebooks I've got. I'm on my 4th one. And this has ended up having like poetry in, important quotes in. This is a spell I did on my channel to overcome grief, and they're all in there. So that's become a little bit like a sort of working book of shadows, if you like, with regards to the ogham and the runes before it, in a very specific way of looking at things. And then this one, I'm not going to open it up because this is full of recipes. So this is my recipe book. Teasies. If anyone comes into my house and tries to steal it, I know where you've seen it from now. Yeah, right. Okay. So from working with the oghams and things, I've been journaling quite a lot. I quite enjoy doing that. I kind of like focusing on things which are important. I like writing things down that mean something to me, and that way you can see the threads. And this is where I think journaling actually comes into its own, that you can actually see the threads of things. And that's what journaling to me should be about. It should be pulling from every little bit of life, every little bit of experience, pulling from quotes that inspire you, from seeing certain signs, like animal signs, bird signs, whatever. You've seen some flowers, and it has an effect on you. You're not quite sure why. You can feel the energy pumping through. You start to get some feelings about it, so you write it down. You think about it. You digest it. You read right back over it. You see the connections. You see the fine tapestry. That is what I think journaling is really good for. Drawing the threads of our different lives together. So yeah. I personally think journaling is something that you have to decide whether or not it's right for you. I think it can be a really useful tool for the beginners, you know, but how many people go back and read everything they've ever written? And I don't know. I think you have to strike a balance between living it and writing it, personally. I do believe in the sacred honouring of the divine through ritual without this written word. I absolutely do things by ear. Sometimes it's a really incredible magical experience and you're not worrying about getting every single word right. Just some different perspectives. Many blessings.